Hello. So today I wanted to discuss New Year's resolutions, and I know that it's that time of year where everyone is coming up with a New Year resolution and what to look forward to for the new year. I think that's incredible to do. I have New Year's resolutions myself, but I think that it's important to approach these New Year's resolutions realistically and also to be honest with ourselves when we set these New Year's resolutions. So if you read my newest blog post, New Year, New Me, then you kind of already know what I'm going to say here. But I also wanted to go into detail in discussing New Year's resolutions and kind of how we look at New Year's resolutions as a society and as humans. So I've been setting New Year's resolutions for as long as I've been able to talk, really. My family always had the idea of the night of the 31st. Every single year, we write down our New Year's resolutions and we talk about how we're going to achieve those goals each and every year. Now, when I was playing tennis, it was usually a tennis related goal. So the goal was for me to improve in ranking points or ranking in general, and by gaining more points and playing more tournaments and just performing well overall. And oftentimes I did not reach those goals. I don't think that there was really ever a goal, tennis goal that I really reached, but I got fairly close each time. So I do have instilled in me from a very young age the habit of setting New Year's resolutions the night before the the um, the next year, so the 31st of every year. And one thing that I've noticed with these New Year's resolutions and setting these New Year's resolutions is that we have a tendency of doing two things, and I include myself in this as much as I include anybody else in this um, criticism of New Year's resolutions. So, the first thing that we do is we often see the person that is completing these New Year's resolutions as a different person, as a different entity, when that person that's going to be completing these goals is us. There's not going to be, a light switch moment where we just decide, okay, I'm going to hit this goal. It's slow and it happens over time. There's progress that's being made slowly over time, but we are that same person that's slowly getting closer and closer to these resolutions. And I think that it's really funny how we tend to say, okay, this person is going to be top 100 in the world with some goals that I set for myself for tennis, for example, that, oh, this person is going to be top 100 in the world, as in, yeah, that's someone different that's completely changed or completely changed their habits and basically a new, different person. I never saw that for myself. And I think that's where the struggle occurred for me because I did not see how I could be top 100 in the world because I just saw it as this very difficult, distant thing to accomplish. It was just kind of something to write down and to hope for and not really work towards because it just wasn't realistic for me. One, and second, it just seemed impossible. And saying realistic, I wanted to get into the next part of why I think that a lot of people just fail in reaching their New Year's resolutions is that we don't tend to set realistic goals for our New Year's resolutions. So I'm talking about, for example, saying that you're going to run a marathon when you have been a couch potato your entire life. It's like you're not going to run a marathon in 2023, 2024, 2025 if you continue on the same path. I mean, you could do it a couple of years down the line, but you got to be realistic with the goals that you set for yourself and think about that moving forward. Okay, so what am I going to do? What are some actionable things that I'm actually going to do to eventually reach this goal of running a marathon? Maybe you can shoot for a 5K, um, or shoot for a 10K, or just shoot for consistently exercising. Then, eventually you will get there. But I think that it's important for us to be realistic with ourselves in setting our goals. I will share one goal that I have for this coming year is that my husband is a runner and he ran a sub 4-hour marathon in 2021, about a year ago. And I was increasingly proud of him because he worked so hard to reach that goal that he set for himself, running a sub 4 marathon. I have recently been trying to get into running more, and my goal for 2023 is to run a sub 25-minute 5K. So that's about an 8-minute mile, I think just over 8-minute mile for the 3.25 miles for a 5K. So I think that is a pretty realistic goal for me, considering I run about a 9:20 mile now. And if I push myself and I'm consistent with my running training, then I should be able to realistically obtain that goal. And it took me a very long time to be able to say, hey, this is something that I think that I can do within the realm of possibility and my physical ability. I think that it's funny how we tend to tell kids and adults that you can do anything you set your mind to. You cannot do anything you set your mind to. If you want to go to Mars, you can't just set your mind and just do that. You're going to have to follow a lot of steps and jump through a lot of hoops in order to reach that goal of getting to Mars. It's not just something that you can think up and do. And also, there's just things that we as humans are just not capable of doing. If I want to go to outer space and be able to breathe in outer space without a helmet, I don't think that I'm ever going to be able to do that. No matter how hard I try, that's going to kill me. So while I think that it's great to shoot for the moon and land on the stars, I think that we also need to be realistic with ourselves in what we are able to do realistically in the realm of possibility, considering our own individual ability and also just considering our, our circumstances. Everybody has different circumstances. Um, those are the main two takeaways I would say for New Year's resolutions in general, as in, you know, think about it as you are the person completing that goal, not as some distant, disassociated person in the distant future. And also think about something that's more realistic for you as an individual, considering where you started and your personal circumstances. And I would also add one more thing to that. I think that people, especially in first world countries, right, in the United States, don't know how to be uncomfortable. And oftentimes, for a lot of these New Year's resolutions, for a lot of these things that we're trying to accomplish, you have to be uncomfortable. I think the number one New Year's resolution for most people is to lose weight or work out or be healthier. And a lot of people don't know or don't understand that means that they have to be uncomfortable for a long period of time. To consistently lose weight or see the results of weight loss, you have to consistently show up, whether you go to a gym or whether you are doing exercises outside or you're doing it within your home. You have to be consistent in what you're doing. And I think that once the going gets tough for a lot of people, they give up. And you could say this about really anything, not just exercising or working out. I mean, I want to read more books in 2023 than I did in 2022. And that means that I want to read a total of about 6 books in 2023, meaning I have to finish one book every 2 months. And with work and with volunteering and all the other things that I do, that's kind of difficult. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible, right? It's still in the realm of possibility, as I mentioned before. But that also means that I will be uncomfortable at times. Instead of sitting and watching Netflix or relaxing and watching TV, I'm going to engage in a book. And sometimes I will not want to do that, but I think that it's more beneficial for me in the long run to form a habit of reading instead of scrolling on Instagram or watching Netflix. So I have to be okay with being uncomfortable doing this thing. And it's hard. I'm just saying this right now, right? As it's so easy, right? But it's not an easy thing to accomplish for anyone. I'm just sharing an example of a personal goal that I have. It's really easy to say that I'm going to read one book every 2 months. Now, when it comes to doing it every minute, every hour, every day, every month, really focusing in on that goal, what do I choose to do? Do I choose to endure it and be uncomfortable for a little bit while informing this beneficial habit? Or do I give up and just say, screw this, I'm not going to do this anymore? And I think that a lot of people, way too many people, say the latter. And I think that is why, especially, that only 9 to 12% of people keep their New Year's resolutions, because of all the reasons that I stated before, because they disassociate from that person that's completing the goals, they are not realistic, and also they are not comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's really what it comes down to. And if you have New Year's resolutions, I'm not here to critique yours or say that you need to change your New Year's resolutions or anything, but just a word of from experience, if you do have New Year's resolutions in 2023, consider those things. And I'm going to go back and revise my New Year's resolutions based off all the things that I mentioned here as well, because I want to make sure that my New Year's resolutions are things that I can actually accomplish in 2023. By December 31st, 2023, I want to look back and say, hey, I actually did this because one, I set realistic goals and I was uncomfortable for a little bit of time, and I didn't disassociate myself from that person that was completing these goals. So I think that it's important for everyone to remember, and I'm saying this to myself as much as I am to anybody else here listening, that, you know, come up with goals that are good for you, and actionable actions towards those goals too. So, as I said in the blog post too, instead of saying that I'm going to work out and be healthier, say things like, I am going to go to a fitness class 3 times a week, and I'm going to limit my sugar intake and prioritize green vegetables or something like that. I don't know. Or not go out to fast food um, more than once a week or something like that. Whatever it is that it is, whatever it is, your goal, right? Whatever your goal is in this new year, think about what you're actually going to do hour to hour, day by day, month by month, instead of what your end goal is, right? It's easy to state an end goal, but it's harder at least, to state what you're actually going to do day to day, week to week, etc., etc. So, just some things to consider as I've been contemplating my New Year's resolutions with myself, and also my New Year's resolutions with my husband as a couple, our financial goals, our health goals, our home goals in terms of things that we want to do around the house, and just planning for the future. I've been really reflecting on, are these goals good? Are these goals realistic? And will I be happy looking back on myself December 31st, 2023, if I complete these goals? So, that being said, I don't say any of this to be hateful. I don't say any of this to be rude. I say all of this to be honest. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you next time.